good finalized product, and I'm doing everything to make sure everything. So right now I'm systemizing the whole process, trying to put it together, so that way I could do sales and maybe hand it off to someone to make sure all the details are fine-tuned with the product. That's kind of
probably hard, you being the creative, to
yes,
get that piece off to somebody else.
Yes, that's the hard part, getting the sales and then doing it from step one all the way through. Because I had employees before, but I moved everything now to my home office. So I put all my equipment in my garage. I have a giant rotary printer, but I was able to set everything up to save costs right now to try to help out with marketing and the design part. So I could just pay for all that and focus on sales.
What do you enjoy?
Nice.
What do you enjoy the most out of?
Oh, I love designing and working with the kids. That's kind of my escape. Because I help coach my son's baseball team.
How old is your son?
He's 9 now.
Oh, okay.
So I help coach his team, and we go to tournaments every weekend. We're at tournaments, and we see like thousands of kids, hundreds of kids at some tournaments.
Yeah.
We went to Arizona, and it's a huge tournament. There was nobody setting up any like event tent for like the kids. It was all equipment based, more like bats and gloves. So it's a huge market.
Baseball.
Yeah, it's a huge market for baseball. And my daughter plays soccer. And I go to her soccer games, and I see huge potential for a lot of growth. But I coach his team, and that's where I find my escape to not worry about all the craziness going on with the business. I'm working with him.
I like it.
Yeah, I love designing, and that's where my background is designing. And I started a printing company 5 years ago, but now it's more sports focused rather than I used to do all general printing, which is like for all businesses and everything. And it just got too overwhelming. So now I enjoy the sports world. I grew up wearing the sports jerseys and being in that culture where you wear the jerseys to match your outfit and all this stuff, and it's always been like a cool thing for me. So that's why I got into it. So now it's kind of like driving me to be part of it and remember what I used to love about it.
What's the minimum order?
Minimum, there's no minimums. I usually tell teams it's a minimum of at least 12 just to start, and from there if they want to add on, they could always add on, because depending on where once I scale up and I have the capabilities, I could do one-offs and I could hand it off to somebody. Rather, right now, since I have to do it, it has to be worth it for me to do 12 units at least, and then I could pretty much from there, once the artwork is done, I could just add 1 or 2 from there.
I'll speak for this community in general. So Ken's Sporting Goods, so
Yes.
big, right?
Yeah.
But they're super expensive. So if I could find somewhere like your business, because I have baseball players in high school myself.
Yeah.
It's such a value what you provide.
Yeah,
your
I did,
business. You want to be at baseball games and events. Yeah, Corona
Yeah.
High.
Yeah, that's what I do. I work with some high schools. I work with Arlington and
Yeah.
schools in Marin Valley. It's just some of the times working with them, their orders are so large, their terms are always harder to deal with. Being a small business, they usually
Yeah.
have like 30 days.
Yeah.
They won't pay until they receive the product in hand, and it's a huge order.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, it's hard to get that done.
Yeah.
But yeah, I work with Ken's, and people tell me that Ken's is a lot of trouble going on with Ken's. So I'm trying to kind of take that.
But they're like the primary one, so
Yeah,
that's why I'm
exactly.
like, if we had options as families, we would.
Yeah, because I also set up like team stores for them through my platform. I have a team store platform, and we put all their designs on there, and they can order from there, and it just goes straight to my business from there.
Very cool.
It's branded to whatever spirit where they want, and then if they want custom, you want to full
You
custom.
need to find you a good alt finance person that can get you an operating line of credit to
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
take those orders.
Yeah.
That was where that was the trouble I was having.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I was thinking even private money lenders.
Yeah, that's where I haven't looked in that scope.
We know Brian has, how can I say, a very challenging business journey, and I really appreciate you being so resilient. We met at the Bright Business Riverside like 2 years ago.
Was it early this year or last year? Yeah, it was maybe.
No, last year.
Yeah.
Last year.
Yeah.
1 year.
There's definitely opportunity. I live in Eastvale girls softball, great organization. They do well, sell out every season sells out. But for whatever reason or whatever's going on with the board, they've went some cheap route with the jerseys. They're really flimsy. They almost look screen printed. They might be something I don't even did, but from like quality, good structured jerseys in the past, to all of a sudden the decision to do that, like there's opportunity around.
Yeah, that's the feedback I get. I always ask for feedback on why they're going a different route. And a lot of the complaints is they go overseas, or some take like a month to get them. Some teams wait almost 2 months to get them, and it kills them because most of the teams need at least like 2-3 weeks. So I provide them usually 2 to 3 turnaround because they're done here.
Yeah.
I do them all here locally, and I have a sewing factory in Chino, and they pretty much sew everything for me.
That could be huge because you're promoting the local businesses.
Yeah, that's-
That's what I was just telling you. I have a high school buddy I just reconnected with, and he runs a nonprofit organization, and he coaches nothing but high school and intermediate kids. So he has a good size of. And not that long ago, he was talking about, I don't know what issues they had with the uniforms. I wasn't really paying attention, but there's definitely.
Yeah. I suggest you, so we can move on. I want to learn more about
Yeah,
this
that's
as
right.
well. What about next month to have a little presentation about what you do and the challenges you have, talking about challenges, and to see how we can move on, because I kind of know, no spoilers, yeah, so I want you to talk about this. I'd like you to.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you do it?
Yeah.
Love it. So, thank you so much, Brian. Victor?
Okay, so just introducing myself. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My name is Victor. I'm in business with my beautiful wife. I had a brick and mortar business for 13 years. I didn't think I was gonna sell it. They offered me to buy it, and I mean, so I sold it. My wife was already in the financial industry. I don't know if you guys ever heard of PHP. So People Helping People. It's an agency,
Very cool.
and it was very difficult for me to sell that business. It took me about 8 months to make that decision. I finally made the decision. Once I came around to this environment, it was more the culture. It just, if you guys allow me to be honest and direct with everything that's going on in the world, we really want to focus on broken men, because if the men are broken, the house is broken, right? So most of the times, there's a lot of issues, I mean, but the number one thing that breaks the home is, besides not being connected to God, but it is the finances, and from there everything breaks loose. In our community, the culture, the Mexican community, the Hispanic community, we're not good with our finances. We're hard workers, we're humble, but we're not good at structuring and planning 15, 20, 30 years ahead. So we got into the financial industry, my wife and I. She's very product driven. She knows product left and right. I'm more of a go out there and talk to people, and that's the reason I'm here. I didn't even know what to expect, to be honest with you, this morning. So we have a 10,000 square foot office here in the city of Corona, right here in Alpha Temescal. So I don't know if you guys seen that PHP building, but we have in our organization, my wife and I, about 60 agents, strongly active, about 16, and on that office alone, we have about 1,600 agents. And showing up actively, about 500.
Wow.
Yeah, so we
What is the service that you provide?
so it's retirement, life insurance, debt solutions, annuities, 401k rollovers, so we're brokers, so we're not an insurance company, so we represent the client. Our job is to educate on the way each vehicle works, and find out what is it that you guys are striving to achieve, and just personalize and package something for that individual. Like right now, what's huge is I don't know. I'm sure you guys are aware. Like not 2-3 weeks ago, there was that huge dip in the market, almost $2 trillion wiped out.
Yeah.
I had one of my clients that literally overnight lost $30,000 in the 401k rollover. It's like, why do we have to wait until that point that they get wiped out in order for us to protect their assets?
So
So
the
it
market
just,
bounces back and they
Right.
build.
yeah, but if you're not at that age,
But if you don't have that strategy from the
Right.
get-go.
yeah.
Then, yeah.
Like I said, it's not that, like what we offer with our license, everything's conservative. We're not advisors. We cannot tell you, it's like we're not advising you to move your money here. We're guaranteeing you a safety vehicle where it's just you have a high potential to make money, but we can't guarantee how much money you're gonna make. And nobody really can. And but the only thing we can guarantee is like protection from the market being so volatile.
Yeah.
So
I mean, to your point, I'll try to make this really short. One of the caretakers for my mom when she was in hospice, Hispanic lady, and she was telling me that her dad had literally over $100,000 in cash in the house, hidden all over the house.
that's the mentality.
Yeah, and I tried to explain to her, I said, okay, I get that, but he should take that 100,000 and go buy gold. If you're gonna store something, store it as gold.
Yeah, yeah.
Because every day he has that money hidden,
Yeah.
it's just depreciating, right? And she got it, right?
Yeah.
So hopefully she was able to talk to him and take some of that cash and go buy some gold.
Yeah.
Because he was hiding it.
Yeah.
If that's what you.
I know
Yeah.
people that literally
Crazy.
have money buried.
Yeah.
Like that's how
Literally.
old school it is. It's
Yeah.
like, it's like,
But they don't
oh, it's
understand
wrapped
it.
up and I have it as moisturized. I was like, what do you
Honestly, I got a coffee can in the yard.
like,
Right?
you know, but it just, we're very skeptical. Hispanic people are very skeptical, and you have every right to be.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a matter of us educating people and at least planting the seed
Yeah.
and sending them the material for them to do their due diligence.
Yeah.
And if you know, not to take that much of your time, but you know, we could do a presentation at a time. But it's just the safest place right now to people to put their money is in life insurance companies. The banks are gonna go bankrupt and they only insure you up to
You gotta remember,
Wow.
banks own life insurance policies. They-
That's what I'm
they-
saying. That's where it's at.
I might differ in that, you know, as a real estate investor.
Oh, yeah.
We use private money lending all the time, right? I'm a private money lender, right? So invest your money, double-digit return secured against the property.
Yeah.
Risk is very low,
Yeah.
right? So,
Yeah. No, thank you, Victor.
No. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
thank you.
No, we like
That
to
was
learn
fun.
more, yeah. We should learn more about, I was listening to you, I was curious to see how you can bring value, how we can help our people.
Yeah.
And how together to kind of show, as a member, let's say, I'm thinking as a member, how we can kind of show you as a value for the community.
Definitely. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Suzanne?
Oh, we're going around the table? All right. I'm an HR consultant. I own Integrated HR Consulting. I've been in HR for 26 years and counting in all facets. So my specialty is being able to strategize with businesses, help them with compliance, training, really get in there and problem solve. And whether you have one employee or like 100 or even more, you have a pretty large workforce, right? Are those all employees?
Oh no, they're all independent.
They're independent
They're all
contractors,
independent,
okay.
yeah.
Then there's lots of things that go on with people, right? Whether they're independent contractors or employees. So I come in I'm not the payroll vendor, I'm not benefits, but I get in the middle and help advise and help business owners and leaders maneuver through their workforce challenges. And I don't want to come in and replace. Like, we definitely complement because I'm not Insperity. I worked for a competitor for a long time, so I understand the inner workings, but I also am like that enhancement as their HR partner.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
I'm Mark Miller. One of my qualifying businesses is Access Capital. I'm a business consultant or broker, and we focus on the various avatars through compliance and education, from the intellectual property or the idea of starting a business or running a business to the different levels, because there are levels in running a business. So essentially what we do, we help structure our clients, again through compliance and education, to get in front of the banks. My company is a COI, Center of Influence. With most of the major banks, a lot of credit unions, private money institutions, to where we help create funding strategies, whether it's a traditional path or a fintech path that you just mentioned for like an individual like yourself, that doesn't just look at personal credit, but looks at the data, because it's the data that tells the story. It's the data that it's the decision logic behind it. And so that's what we specialize in, whether it's manufacture, whether it's real estate, whether it's another consulting company, really doesn't matter, because every business needs what capital. So that's what we got.
Okay, thank you so much. You're not competing, right?
We're complementing.
Compliment.
I
Okay.
love
The same thing
that
as
term. That's what I gotta
I
use.
compliment with Mike Mueller too. You know, we overlap on certain things, but we're helping each other.
Love
right?
it, love it. Yeah, the same thing with Suzanne. First of all, first time, at the beginning, I thought you were competing. At some point, somebody asked me, how come they do not, they can go along. It's the
They're
same
nice
thing.
to each other.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, yeah, this is a good thing. Thank you so much.
Well, I had a question on that. Do you help the business create a plan to get to that point, or is it that's just like a?
Yeah, to a certain extent, we look at, we
If it's
do an
not
audit.
there, yeah.
We do a business audit
Okay.
and see where you are and where you're trying to go. And then
Give them a plan to get there if you don't have it at the moment.
Mhm.
Right.
something like this I understood from Joseph also, so probably you work together. Thank you. I'm Florian, the guy with the Bright Business Project, the Bright Business Club, and yeah, I'll talk more at the end. I don't want to take your time.
Okay. Travis Walker with Insperity. Welcome to our office. We just opened this office in December. We are a nationwide company and represent all 50 states for clients that we get involved with. But even though we're a big company nationwide, we focus on small to mid-sized businesses, help with startups and entrepreneurs. We're a great conversation to get into cost containment, cost control strategies around retention of their people, help an employer become an employer of choice by creating culture. So we're not a run-of-the-mill payroll company, even though we do run payroll. It's a core piece of the foundation of a relationship that we have. However, we are an HR company, so we're actually a certified professional employer organization. A lot of people haven't heard about that, but it's kind of like if you think of a financial advisor who's a fiduciary. They're responsible and make sure that they do what's best for their client first before their own best interest. It's kind of what a certified PEO is. We have the endorsement by the IRS with that certification that gives us a little bit more of a prestigious reputation that says we're going to do what's right by our clients first. And my goal is to elevate the conversation around HR and payroll. That's why Suzanne and I work really well, because I know how she presents herself and represents her company. And we complement in a way where she can basically be a fractional HR representative for an organization that helps be the contact to run our systems and operate within our systems we supply and provide to a client and their people. So if they don't have an internal HR department, we can be an HR outsourced solution completely, or we can work with somebody in the company, or they may need somebody that can, at least in a fractional sense, be that person for us to work with, because they don't have the knowledge, the time, or the expertise to want to deal with it or handle it. So, and it's cost effective that way for us to be value added or strategic partners in that sense. So, but a lot of times people, oh, you do payroll. There's such a transactional moniker on payroll companies out there that they're very transactional, and we're trying to elevate that conversation to one of more of a partnership with a business and the future outlook and sustainability of that company, because we're a retention-based organization, not an acquisition-based organization.
Thank you. Monday we talk about Suzanne mostly about you with the interview we had with Stephanie, and why this? In fact, this we talk about you as well. Your holistic approach. You are not just straight dry business experts, HR. That's it. You go and have that approach. You are able to talk with the business from different angles.
Yeah.
So the same thing, Stephanie is not just a CPA. She's talking about cybersecurity or different other aspects of the business to provide the best, let's say, not only service, to help, to be a factor of growth.
Other companies are selling payroll and HR services. We sit in a consultative role.
Right.
The conversation may turn into needing an all finance person. They need an operating line of credit to get through their business to fund payroll at any moment because they've got delayed receivables coming in. We may not end up having any solution that they need, but wherever the pain's at, who's my network of people that I can involve in? So in a sense, we're consultants and advisors that help guide, and we can present the product and the expertise for HR and payroll if and when it's needed. We also bring medical plans to the table. We also bring workers' comp to the table in that PEO relationship, just because of the way we do business.
And I would mention one more thing, Brian, especially, though we don't know yet, but Brian, if you have any needs, I know Travis and most of the people here can help. Besides, let's say Travis is HR, he's pretty HR guy, but beside that, he's very well connected in the area. So whatever question or challenges you have, put on the table.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. Because you might talk about money, let's say. Travis can have a solution because he knows Joseph, and he knows Mark. And talking about this holistic approach, Joseph had an experience with one prospect, a referral he got from our community, that $300,000, right? So the guy was looking for some money, and then Joseph helped him to find the money from a completely different venue, not from a VC. So that's why it's important to have an expert with that holistic approach to kind of guide us. Thank you so much.
First of all, thank you for hosting. Appreciate it. Very nice.
Yeah.
beats IKEA.
They did a good job for us here.
Yeah, that's really nice. My name is Rich Amador, A3 Properties and Investments. We're a family-owned real estate investor, family-run business. Our buy box is in southern Orange County, San Clemente, Dana Point, San Juan Capistrano, that area. We're kind of considered the luxury line of flippers. So to date, we've flipped properties. We have a ground-up construction going on in Dana Point, and next year we're hoping to do some buy and holds. My son, who's a civil engineer, is part of the company. He has a day job in the process of becoming a partner with his company. So there's some really good overlap. My future son-in-law is a structural engineer, which we've already pulled him in on our current project. And my daughter graduated with a marketing degree, and she and I are probably the heavy lifters right now, doing about 90% of the work, 80% of the work. Thank you.
No, thank you for being here. So you drove from Dana Point?
No, I drove from Fullerton.
Oh, okay.
That's better than Dana.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking about Ortega. I don't know, Ortega is open?
It is, they just opened it
They
yesterday.
just opened it?
Oh,
Yeah, I
yeah.
thought it was closed.
Yeah, they just opened it.
I should live in Dayton, I'm down there all the time.
Yeah.
But,
Always, when I look
Yeah.
when I hear you talking, it's Dana Point, so reach Dana Point.
yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
Sure.
I'm Joseph Choi. I'm a capital raise strategist and connector, right? So I've been in space for 36 years. So done investor to Harmony to mortgage to SBA to commercial real estate to master plan, community to construction. So pretty much I have sources for everything, like small business as well. So I connect whatever. I consult with it, whether it's manufacturer or even construction for small single family or any business. I consult and see what capital structure we should do. You know, it's called capital stack because people only think if they go to bank, they get a bank loan. They go to some investor, they get investment. I have a variety of money, capital sources. Even foreign investments from Korea and like EB5 or E2 visa investments, and I have Dubai, I have Japan equity investors. So I guess putting together exactly what the borrower wants to do or the startup wants to do is my goal, and make that connection.
Thank you. So Brian, you have no excuse now. You have to grow.
Exactly.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's my turn?
Yeah.
Okay. My name is Beverly Rubio, and I have a marketing and strategic and business strategy background. I fell in love with AI, and that's what I'm working on as far as integrating AI into every business model. The other thing that I've really come to recently, and this goes back to Joseph, we all have compelling stories. And I was going to tell you, in listening to everyone, the one that stuck with me is he said something about luxury line flipper. And I go, oh, okay, I understand this business. 3 words, luxury line flipper, I got it. So Joseph and I were talking about stories, and I'm helping him with his stories. When I started really researching it, there are formulas for that. And so I want to use AI to help everyone basically craft their story so that in 3 words, I understand what you do. Joseph is very modest about what he does. Your business is global, just so you know. And he's a connector, but very modest. So what I'm also focusing on is using AI, integrating it into businesses, but also to help your business really tell your story and essentially automate those marketing things to do. But you were also talking about reaching your target market. There are compelling stories there. And because you're very familiar with the culture, it's really easy to create those stories and then through AI just automatically translate them for a first draft and then work on them from there. So to save time and build money, you can do that with augmentation of AI and integration in your business. So anyway, that's what I've come to, and that's what I do.
Very cool.
Yeah, love it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And by the way, I just got an email last night, yesterday in the evening. So I'm gonna shoot an email today to our members about a few prompts.
Yes, using ChatGPT, and I created a series of prompts that will help you build an avatar a lot more easily about your dream client. So, and it really, you go into your client's head and kind of look at, well, what, asking a series of questions. Well, what might they value? What kinds of books do they read? What, just giving you a quick idea, and then from that, figuring out, okay, well, tell me, what are 10 places I should be networking in? What are the online communities? I think there's an example, maybe 10, I don't remember. So things like that to help you really speed up this whole process. And then, of course, there's a bunch of others for writing content. And as I find things that I think will be useful, I'll share them.
I'm going to share this this week, probably today or tomorrow, the
Okay.
latest, with all of us. And the same, I would like you to put together a workshop so we can take a better use of this all prompts and to have better understanding of the ChatGPT or other, let's say, AI apps we can use at our level.
Honestly, that is really what I want to do, is
Yep.
share the knowledge about
So please.
first of all, what is it? Why is it so important now? And what can it do for me in my business?
Mhm.
How can it help me? And then the other piece of it that I've really, as I said, there are stories that sell.
Yeah.
And if we can figure out, if we can identify what are those stories and how we can generate them quickly and then have them right at the top of our heads.
We should do
That's
this.
what I want to do.
And you know what? When you have, you and Joseph, it looks like you're working together right now.
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna have a case study, and we can use Joseph because Joseph you don't know much about him. He's very modest. You don't.
Extraordinary,
Yeah,
so.
you don't. So maybe we have a workshop together, having you and Joseph kind of teaming up for that particular.
Okay.
Love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you. AI is not gonna take your job, she is.
No,
Just a joke.
I was gonna say.
Everybody keeps saying, every influencer keeps saying, AI is not here to take your job. People using AI is.
That's exactly.
Yeah, AI is not here to take your job.
And we're
The
not
people
talking-
using
yeah.
AI too, that's
Those-
just a joke.
Yeah.
I'm not.
It's gonna happen fast.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're not wrong.
Right.
Because during my presentation, I gave it a paper that I had written and told it to create a presentation based on that paper. So,
Yeah.
anyway. I'm Yvette Dubell, and we'll just focus on what I'm talking about today. So I'm here as part of Empowered Innovation, and I am an Artful Living and Micro Habits coach, as well as an artist researcher. And so today I'll be talking about how applying my personal innovation model to business leadership issues to address root causes, and micro habits is basically like the method of addressing your personal innovation, like how do you get it done. So.
Thank you. Very short
Love
for.
Well, I didn't want to confuse everybody.
Yvette is a very sophisticated person, and he's very active for like Stephanie. That's why we talked yesterday about you as well on Monday on that live. She's very active with the Thrive in Riverside, and she wants to make our community, our world a better place. Right? She's fighting for this.
That's a good short answer.
Yeah. Thank you so much. So now I want to invite Yvette to run the show. And before that, talking about the micro habits. Thank you. And before talking about micro habits, is one thing I read about this corporations. They build a strategy, but they fail to implement. 80% of the strategies fail for the corporations, corporate world. Why? Because habits and behaviors. People cannot implement the strategies. But on the other side, when we talk about small and the solopreneurs, they don't even have a strategy, they don't even talk about implementation. But however, we need to improve our habits and behaviors. But here you come. That's why I was so excited to have you here today. Because you cannot talk about challenge, solution, but if you do not implement, you don't do nothing, right? Thank you so much. So,
Okay.
yeah, thank you.
Well, oftentimes people in business leadership positions don't really have leadership skills.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Okay, so we're going to talk about using micro habits to address root causes of our problems in business leadership, and everybody knows I'm Yvette. So micro habits is a definition. Micro habits are small, easily actionable behaviors that are repeated consistently over time to build momentum for personal and organizational change. And then the importance in leadership is by focusing on small, manageable actions, leaders can cultivate more effective and sustainable changes in their behavior and team culture. And this little photo down here is, I think Florence is, you were explaining the matrix to me.
Oh, yeah, this one.
Yeah, I go down to Back to the Grind every Wednesday. That's one of my things. People find it hard to believe I'm actually very much an introvert, and that was something I started doing when I first moved here to force myself to connect with people on a consistent basis.
You just are looking here 1 year ago?
2 years now.
From?
This next week will be my second year.
Oh, okay. From?
North Carolina, Greenville, North Carolina. So root causes of leadership challenges: lack of trust and communication breakdowns, resistance to change and innovation, and bias in decision making and team dynamics. The impact of these can be challenges are often deeply rooted in personal habits and cultural norms, making them difficult to address with large-scale changes alone. And we know what that looks like. You know, there's what you were just talking about. Basically, somebody comes up with a strategic plan, it gets sent out, it doesn't get implemented because there's no connection between the people, and they have no connection to this plan. And this is something we see a lot in nonprofit world also. I have a nonprofit, so it's also something we address in the nonprofit world. How micro habits target root problems. Micro habits engage leaders in the daily actions to help facilitate those long-term issues like personal biases and communication gaps incrementally. An example can be implementing the daily habit of active listening. Oh, am I blocking? The habit of daily listening to help build trust and improve team communication. And this has a compounding effect, obviously, over years, because these are the kind of small improvements that add up and improve the overall organizational culture and leadership effectiveness. Art-based techniques to support micro habits, because I am all about art. Creative problem solving. So using art-based methods such as journaling combined with something like mandala making or visual mapping. And this was a mandala event that we went to this weekend in Long Beach. But it can be a really good way of like de-stressing, focusing, and oftentimes when you're caught up in a problem at work, instead of like, oh my God, I have to figure out and pounding your head, it's better to like go do something else, and art is one of those things that I highly recommend for people. And implementation strategies for leaders. I wanted to say, one of the reasons I had this little like blog thing, because I thought that was a good symbol for like a problem, because they're sort of front and center, but they're really the symptom. It's not the thing itself.
How did you get that? I mean, on the PowerPoint.
It's a combination of
I
a
like
couple
it.
of different
Very
shapes.
Different, very
No,
different.
this is Canva, so she's having Canva.
Yeah, so it's like two
Camera.
different shapes put
Yeah.
together to make it look
Canva.
like it's like a moving
Yeah, Canva
ball.
is
a special platform.
I'll share it with you if you want.
No,
So start small. Choose 1 or 2 micro habits to align with your personal leadership goals, such as offering positive feedback regularly or scheduling time for reflection, because so oftentimes people are so busy, they don't take time to actually think about what's going on and what their role in things are. Encourage daily or weekly reflection to track progress and adjust your habits as necessary. And that's one of the reasons that I think finding journaling is really important and key. Involve team members in identifying micro habits that enhance collaboration and innovation, so engagement is key. Does anybody have any questions? I'm just blowing through this thing. Does anybody have questions? Okay.
no, I would have one.
Yes.
What do you suggest for us entrepreneurs to kind of, what would be that small thing that can bring the maximum value, that small?
So it depends on like what your problem is and then what your existing routine is. So you look for something that you can make a part of your existing routine. Does that make sense?
Give me an example.
So
What
for
should I do?
example,
What-
I would say, so somebody who was wanting to work in the reflective, time to be reflective, and she had no experience with meditation, but she thought that was a good place to start. So we talked about mindfulness, and she kept saying she didn't have time. So we worked out where she would fit it in between like brushing her teeth and taking her shower. and set the timer and do that for 2 minutes and 22 seconds.
Okay.
Wow.
So minor and so powerful.
Hey.
Well, it made a
I feel
big
like-
difference for her. That was enough for her to become, we were working to help her become more aware of her emotional triggers so that she could address things before she sort of flipped out about whatever it was. And that was enough to give her those benefits of meditation. And she didn't have to do an hour, and she found the time. So.
How did you figure out the time? That 2 minutes, 22 seconds?
I'm a micro habits person. I like to do everything 1 minute and 11 seconds or 2 minutes and 22
Okay.
seconds.
Well, that's what I'm
Or 22 minutes and 22 seconds.
I gotta say, in the HR world, I feel like more leaders need to just sit for a second, don't make those emotional decisions,
Yes.
and it will be in the
Set
benefit
a
of the
timer.
business every time.
I'm telling you, it makes a huge
It's
difference.
that emotional response, and then
We'll do it
now
tomorrow.
you just create a huge risk for your
Right,
business.
and also those, oftentimes those decisions are reactionary.
Yes.
So you're not acting out of your best self.
Yeah.
Which is one of the goals of personal innovation, is to bring that more often to
Right.
what we're doing.
Exactly.
So for example, this is a big
Yes.
challenge for me. I get into something, like yesterday, I couldn't stop doing something. I was like in free fall. I want to stop doing, I couldn't stop.
Like a wormhole?
Yeah, right, like working.
Perfect.
So for me, I was like.
Then you
like,
set a time. I'll do this for 2 minutes and 22 seconds longer.
And stop.
And then I'll stop and set a timer.
Set a
Or
timer.
whatever,
Use
22
your phone,
2 minutes doesn't
do
work for me, but
something.
I
whatever it
feel like,
is.
oh, I should finish this. I should finish this because.
Familiar with the Pomodoro?
Yeah.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
Pomodoro, yeah.
See, even that was too long for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
20 minutes?
It's like 20 minutes and
20
you do it
minutes,
5
yeah.
Or you could
minutes.
even do 15.
Right, I do 15 minutes and then I do a 30-minute break. And then I work for 15 more minutes. So, but it's about
I feel
understanding.
like I cheat. You know,
No.
I'm trying not to work.
It's understanding, so at the end of this, I'll tell you about it. Well, I hope we'll get
I'm
to
sorry.
that. Evaluate the effectiveness of current leadership practices and identify areas for micro-habit intervention, which is what you just talked about, and reflection. Leaders can start by adopting one micro-habit that addresses a root cause in their team's dynamics or communication, ensuring it is aligned with larger organizational goals. And this was the free step I was going to offer. So if you go to YvetteDeBell.com and select services, and under that there's a drop-down menu, select take the quiz. That quiz will help you understand your personal innovation style. And then you can sign up for tips about how to integrate micro-habits based on your personal innovation style. And that was just something I started, I'm still working on it, but to help people understand what their needs are, and then you can start. I was looking at, I was inspired by like these team dynamic profiles,
Yeah, yeah.
and I was at an event, at a conference, and someone was sort of like shoving their way in and said, well, you know, I'm a driver, so that's what I do. And so people were using their dynamic style to excuse like bad behavior.
Yeah, no.
Right, yeah.
No.
And I thought like, that's so counterproductive. And so I started working this personal innovation style. So it's about understanding what your actual needs are so that you can better meet them, and then adjusting your micro habits to address those needs. So there you go. Bam. And thank you for your attention.
Oh, thank you so much. It's so fast.
Okay, glass of champagne.
That's her micro.
Celebrating.
And you're a researcher, do you come across studies at all where this applies and helps? Obviously, anyone can create micro habits to be successful in anything they do, but that it helps people with ADHD or kids with ADHD.
Exactly, that's what it came from.
I can imagine it's
Neurodivergent
down to-
individuals.
Yeah, down to the roots of this, I would imagine, came from maybe.
And I didn't want to be medicated, so you find a way to make how you are work for you.
Sure. I related, my youngest daughter has ADHD, and for the longest time, we resisted medication as well, so what would
Well,
help?
see, I'm ADD, so can't really, the medication's really wonky for that, because.
But she had this one teacher in 3rd grade where she just thrived, in that, like, better than in any grade since then. She's done better since then, but this teacher taught in a way for kids in her class where there was constant check-ins. It was constant resets. It was constant, so the kids in the class didn't have time to wander or space off. She was using micro habits as a teaching method. And my daughter thrived in that class. She
Yeah.
didn't do as well up to that point and hasn't done as good since, but it was really the effects of that teacher and how she taught. Now, she may have needed micro habits herself, and that's just how she presented it to her class,
Sure.
right? So it was natural for her, but I see it happening. I saw it with my daughter. I saw how it impacts from someone teaching them, let alone put it together yourself.
Right.
But having someone there that's constantly just checking in with you or resetting your clock because you start wandering and somebody snaps you back. And I saw it it happened with her teacher in 3rd grade.
You see, let me say that's also a symptom. It's when we're engaged in something that we are engaged in, our minds don't wander. We're focused, we're
Sure.
in it. And so the micro habits was a way of working through resistance, things that you're resistant to doing. That's where it's like, I don't really love working out, but I can do like 10 minutes on the rowing machine. Do you know what I mean? So it's like breaking it out so that you make a commitment to get, I focus on top 3 every day, which is another strategy for avoiding overwhelm, because we get stressed out about things that aren't really due like this week. You know, it's like a month down the road, but we're stressing out about it like it's due next week. And it helps you to refocus on what's actually relevant right now. What do I really need to focus on and get done today? And then I'm always looking for extra time to play. So it's like, how can I feel productive and then have time to play?
My brain
Yeah.
is everywhere.
Thank you.
No
thank you.
checklist.
Check is my brain.
I do do a lot of checklists. I have
Yeah.
a whole thing around like notes and
Yeah.
in the back of my art journal, there's a whole thing around my list. I do
Yeah.
list work.
What was the website again?
YvetteDubell.com.
Yeah, just a second. Right here, on top.
You want to take a picture?
I might have a couple
Yeah,
of
this,
cards.
That would be
this
great.
is huge, and beside this, probably soon is from, so young adults trying to learn more about behavior or something.
Yes, I just talked about that. I came up with a strategy to secure land for phase 2.
Just to let people know, if you're gonna have some guests,
Oh, nice.
yeah, would be great. People with, let's say, needs to kind of, how can I say, to learn how to be part of the society.
Yes. It'll be youth aging out of foster care and survivors of human trafficking.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so we want their needs considered in our regional economic development plan.
So we'll try
Very
to,
cool.
to bring,
It's a very powerful.
Oh,
yeah. No, thank you so much.
I'm very excited about it.
There's already a nonprofit in Corona that does something similar where they have houses for the foster youth that have aged out
Mhm.
and of foster care, but they need stability, so they go and have a place to live, so they can go to school, so they can have a job. But there's stipulations, yeah.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah,
know
they're
that?
really doing good. Inspire.
Inspire. Thank you.
Yeah, Inspire life skills training.
Yeah.
So
Thank
we're
you.
Really,
we're looking
really
to
good.
do like entrepreneurial development and grow
Yeah.
Yeah.
social entrepreneurship in particular. Want to grow social enterprise sector.
Yeah.
for our region.
Yeah, that's the purpose to have them here to see.
You could always just call them. I'll
Yeah.
give you their contact info. Their
Okay.
owner is very humble and it's been around for a long
Absolutely.
time. But they're a small but mighty operation.
Okay.
But you can kind of just pick their brain and see where it goes.
Oh, it's nice.
Absolutely. Thank you.